What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down what's happening to the market going into tomorrow and what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you are guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends very soon in just about 2.5 weeks from now. Anyways, for NIO, as you guys can see, there's a little bit of a push that's coming right over here. And we did see a little sell-off that we kind of pumped and dumped, despite some very, very bullish news. But let me just say that, lo and behold, the share price is still bullish overall, as we have a bullish structure developing with this inverse head and shoulders. And I still think that NIO has upside potential. But let me make it very clear that I was hoping that we would see a lot more upside now after getting an all-time high deliveries record. Instead, this was kind of priced in, and NIO kind of pumped and dumped today before trying to continue to go higher. I still think that the share price is bullish overall, and we have to give it some time. But that's what I'm seeing, at least for the time being, with how this is moving. Anyways, when it comes to other factors, I just wanted to say that when it comes to the economic calendar, Tuesday's tomorrow is going to be June 4th. Please know that that's at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the JOLTS job openings report 30 minutes after the market ends up opening. Then we also have the JOLTS job quits coming out and a bunch of data. Then at 11:30 a.m., we have the 42-day bill auction coming out at a couple of hours after the market opens. And we'll see how things go from there. Just remember, guys, that NIO has its earnings on June 6th, so just in a couple of days from now. And besides that, there's not really a whole lot else going on, at least for earnings. Everything else is very minor. Now, the fear and greed index is currently neutral. The market is still getting bought up, kind of dumped in pumps today. We're still seeing greed making up momentum, and the VIX still has that gap to fill below. So I still believe it's going to likely see some downside. As far as NIO goes, we had some very, very good news that came out over the weekend as they delivered over 20,000 deliveries in just the month of May, which is very, very good news. That's a surge of about 234% year over year. And then you also have to remember that we have about 12,164 SUVs and over 8,380 sedans. That's still very, very awesome news for them, with very, very nice looking growth quarter over quarter. And on top of this, they're still doing very, very well with new partnerships with GAC Group and FAW Group. And the alliances are going to be adding to their existing collaborations with different companies out there. So that's actually going to be very, very great news for them. I'm very excited for what else the future holds. I can't wait to see how things develop from here. On top of all of this, I just wanted to say that right now, JP Morgan, not JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, excuse me, they're now seeing over 80% upside for NIO. So that's actually some good news for them. And they are anticipating that NIO is going to be pushing for more growth as we're looking at some more records to be broken, especially if they do end up breaking their quarterly record. So they're anticipating some upside. They also see potential gains coming out moving forward. On top of this, NIO has made announcements about how it's going to be making organizational changes involving the Envo sub-brand. That's going to be very, very important for their strategic businesses and such. That's going to be important for growth. So that's important news that I just wanted to mention. And with all this going on, it makes me even more excited for what else the future holds. Now, Bank of America Securities gave NIO a neutral rating. We also happen to have the price-price ratio kind of flat right now because NIO is kind of underperforming a little bit. But just know that Tuesdays tend to be green about 55% of the time. And we tend to see more volatility around 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Besides that, there's not really a whole lot else coming out. We have about 53 million in volume, and we'll see what happens at least moving forward. As far as NIO goes, in my personal opinion, I think that there is quite a bit of potential in this. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, we have a very, very nice looking slanted inverse head and shoulders like structure. This to me looks pretty good. And I do see some more upside potential thanks to this, as we do have potential to break out to $6. Now today, although NIO did dip a little bit, it was kind of like a pump and dump move. I still think there's more upside potential with the good deliveries data and earnings coming out. And we have a slanted inverse head and shoulders that's developing. So I do anticipate more upside coming later for that $6 target. For SPY, I would say that the chart is looking more bullish. We dipped today. We saw quite a bit of a dip all the way down to 522, only for SPY to get bought back up and continue to pump. So this still looks bullish. We came down here, we made a high, came down again, got bought back up again. SPY closed green. So it's going to likely continue pushing into the 530s, in my opinion. I think 530 is coming very soon, and SPY is still holding up very nicely. For Nvidia, I think that there's potential Nvidia to try to break its all-time high, and we're going to be watching to see if we can slowly push up for 1180, then eventually 1200. Those are going to be two big targets, and we'll see how things end up going from there. For Bitcoin to me is looking pretty good right now. We're going to be looking at this support at 69,000. We bounce off this, we could be pushing all the way up to about the 70,000 area. So I see potential in this to try to get that bounce. For others out there, like the QQQ is also trying to push higher as we're about to get a 4-hour PPO crossover. This looks more bullish. Maybe kind of dumps. Now we're trying to pump again. So I'm going to be looking for a pump all the way up towards that 458 area. Tesla's also just trading sideways, going back and forth and back and forth. If we lose 173, we have a gap to fill down to 168. And if we manage to break past 180, we could pop. Otherwise, we're just trading sideways. It's been going back and forth for weeks now. It's very boring. Not really a whole lot's going on with this. So we're just waiting for that moment when we finally get a break and a close that kind of shows us a new change in direction. So we have to give this the time it needs as time goes on. With that being said, guys, I think that NIO is looking bullish on the 4-hour time frame. We still have an inverse head and shoulders developing, so I still expect upside that's coming later on. For the short term, we might consolidate a bit and see NIO retest. I would say this 5.3 area before it tries to rebound. So I think that what's going to happen is we're going to dip a little bit and try to push higher slowly, inch our way up to about 5.5, and just kind of consolidate for a bit. But I still think there's upside potential later as we're going to get closer to $6 over the next couple of trading days as we approach earnings. So look for a little bit of a dip and some consolidation before we try to push higher. And $6 is still an ultimate target for the next couple of days. All right, so that's what I'm seeing, at least for the overall markets. Just two more. Let me go over AMC and GameStop for a bit. I know a lot of people are excited about these. GameStop is showing some life. Yes, it did get a little pump and dump like move, but now it's trying to hold above its key EMAs. If we lose 25, we're going to be dipping all the way back down to lower levels. If we hold above 25, I'm going to be looking for a push all the way up towards 32 all over again. So I see potential in GameStop, and we could start pushing into the 40s and higher levels if we do hold up. AMC is also showing life on the 4-hour. We pumped all the way up to about 5.9, came down. As long as we hold above 4.6, yes, I could be looking for a bounce into the 5.25 plus area. So if we lose 4.6, then we do have a gap to fill down here, and we could continue to push, in my opinion, to even higher levels. With that being said, guys, I personally believe that there is upside potential. This could try to bounce, and I think that we definitely could see more upside for AMC and GameStop. And with that being said, that's how I see things kind of going moving forward. But with that being said, let me just make it very clear. As far as NIO goes, I see upside later on. I think it's going to be pushing for $6 soon. But for the short term, look for maybe a little dip down to 5.3 and a bounce, back up to 5.5, and then some consolidation before we get that bigger push. All right, so that is it for the video. I want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have an absolutely incredible rest of the day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next video update. Thanks again, and peace out.